Okay, so the NRA convention's in town this weekend, and because of that, the President of the United States and the Vice President of the United States both flew in to Dallas Love Field yesterday to speak at the NRA convention in downtown Dallas, Texas. And because of that, the local radio stations were covering it quite a lot, and there were a lot of politicians that spoke at the NRA convention. President Trump, Vice President Pence, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, both Texas Senators John Cornyn and Ted Cruz, both speaking, all of them speaking at the NRA convention. But since the local radio stations were covering the fact that the president was in town and the vice president was in town, heard a lot about it. I mean, it's not the first time Donald Trump has spoken at an NRA convention as President of the United States, but he is the first President of the United States to speak at an NRA convention since Ronald Reagan. And so yes, that includes both President Bushes never spoke at an NRA convention. It makes sense. I mean, all the politicians that spoke yesterday were Republicans, so the Democratic presidents didn't. The NRA doesn't really like Democrats. But the main thing that I got out of the radio news coverage was, hey dude, the main thing I got out of the radio news coverage yesterday was interviews with people who were attending the convention. And the common thread through the NRA convention attendees, but they were excited to see the president, and they were hoping that he would say something about something called concealed carry reciprocity. Now let me explain what concealed carry reciprocity is. Reciprocity is an ominous sounding word. It kind of sounds like payback. And if you add that in with concealed carry, it even sounds more ominous. But it really just means like a reciprocal. So that if a person has a concealed handgun license or a license to carry in one state, then like a driver's license, they want it to be valid in all 50 states and all the territories in the Union. And on the surface, that kind of, sounds like it makes sense, but here's the problem with it. A lot of the people who are at this convention saying that they want this concealed carry reciprocity, they're the same people who are going to argue with me that the Civil War was about states' rights. See, the states' rights are in the 10th Amendment. And different states have different laws when it comes to guns in general, but specifically to concealed carry permits or even open carry. Some states allow open carry, some states don't. So what's going to be the word with that? Are you going to force all the states that don't allow open carry to allow open carry, or are you going to be the other way around and take open carry away from everybody? A lot of people aren't going to be happy no matter which way you go. But just even if it's concealed carry, and I'm not going to go into detail on all the different laws and things like that, and all the different states. I'm just going to bring up one thing from two different states that I've lived in. Currently, I live in Texas. To be able to purchase a handgun in Texas, you need money and you need to be able to pass background check, and that's only if you buy it from a dealer. And the background check can be as fast as 10 minutes. And then you walk out of the store with a brand new handgun. And those handguns can have magazines that carry 15, 17, 19 rounds. You can even get 30 plus round extensions. A very popular handgun for concealed carry is the 9mm Glock 19. It's not full size and it's not fully compact, which means that it's got a decent capacity, and it's standard with a 15 round mag, but you can get a 33 round extension put in it. But that 15 round magazine is not legal in the state of California. California, the magazine capacity is limited at 10 rounds. So how are you going to reconcile that? You're going to force California to say, okay, your magazine limit is off the table. Or you're going to force Texas to say, okay, now you got a magazine limit. One way or the other, some of the states' rights are going to get trampled on. They're going to get stomped on, no matter which way it goes. To get a concealed carry license in Texas, anybody can do it. You pass a background check, you pay your money to the state for the application, you go to a class, that lasts about, I think that it used to be 8 hours, it's been trimmed down to 4. You take a proficiency exam, which is, in my estimate, it's laughable. You can totally miss the target entirely 30% of the time, including when the target is 3 yards away from you, and still pass your proficiency exam. And yet in California, you not only have to do all that, you got to have a really good reason to show the state why you need to have a concealed carry, be able to carry a concealed firearm. And other states are like that too, so which one's going to win? The reason that they're calling for concealed carry reciprocity is not every state allows, some states have more lax laws than others. And so there's like, no, just because you could get a concealed carry license in Texas doesn't mean we're going to let you concealed carry in California, because it's too easy to get it in Texas and we want it to be a little harder to get in California. So you're going to make the concealed carry license harder to get all across the country? Put them on level with California or Connecticut or New York? Or are you going to make them easy to get all over the country, kind of like they are in Texas? Some states' rights, no matter which way you're going to go, are going to get stomped on. So, are you going to sacrifice the 10th Amendment to defend the Second Amendment? And another funny thing is, there of course were counter-protesters, and the folks attending this convention weren't happy about the protesters. So there's another consistency argument. Trample the First Amendment to protect the Second. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with that whole concealed carry reciprocity thing, and it's also going to be interesting to see how these politicians who tied themselves to the NRA fare in November this time around. That's it for me.